I'm joined here with Michelle Hamilton, and she is a psychologist with Beyond Balance. And now that we are in 2021 and the holidays or Christmas is over, this is where we can see some more changes and that may or may not take a toll on somebody's mental health. So, what are some things that you see that may be more common around this time of year?
I think that in the new year, more than anything, there's often a sense of hopefulness, So um, eh, coming out of the heaviness that was 2020 and all the lockdowns and kind of disappointments that were part of this year. I believe that the new year, this year in particular, is a really great opportunity for people to get more clear about what's important to them and to find a way to get focused more on what they want, whether that be in the short term or more, in many cases, more in the long term.
And as you mentioned, now with the new year, people might be getting new routines. So, what is a way that they can keep those more consistent?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said new routines and consistency, Jasmine, because without a doubt, when it comes to creating change, we have to be focused more on our own behavior and how we're leading ourselves day by day through habits that we intentionally develop, in the direction of something that we want, something that's important. So, creating an intention, as in having a clear sense of what you want, and that can include very specific goals and visual images, words, and things like that, is such an important starting point. But we have to back it up with really clear behaviors that kind of lead us in that direction, just step by step, in small and consistent ways, that is going to be an important part of how we actually attain the bigger picture intention or goals.
With the stresses that may come with that, how is a good way that for people to deal with that and, kind of fix their routine to help them deal with it more?
hmm Well, I think we can't help but focus on increasing our own physical activity and our opportunities to exercise outside in the fresh air, as I've often referred to the importance of sunshine and exercise combined whenever possible. Thankfully, the warm weather we're seeing through December and January this year really allows for great opportunity for people to get active out in the fresh air. So when it comes to mental health, exercise and connection with other people are probably the two most significant behaviors and or actions that we can take that help ourselves be in a better position to maintain our mental health.
And with COVID-19, some people may still be working from home and they not might not be getting out as much as they used to or seeing their friends. So what are some things that they could do to make sure that they stay positive?
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I do hope, and by now many people have had experiences with learning to use technology, such as Zoom or whatever video conferencing options we've got. I mean, as soon as we're able to be face to face, even at a distance, I really hope that people can get back into the habit of connecting with people in person. But while we're in the position of taking these additional safeguard measures, I really do hope people find a way to visually be able to connect with each other, by way of video conferencing, and as well, just simply a telephone chat, as opposed to texting and messaging. I would think it's a good opportunity to encourage the idea of, the visual and the verbal exchange between humans, that is sort of spontaneous and in the moment. I think is something we need to really work on to stay connected, as opposed to relying too heavily on social media and messaging ways of communicating.
And is there anything else that you would say really it maybe is more common throughout this time of year?
Well, I think what's common is that we often, have great hopes for the new year, and then get frustrated and disappointed in ourselves when we struggle, and we may fall back into bad habits. So let's also just be really gentle and compassionate with ourselves in terms of understanding that there's, we will be better off learning to live more in the middle ground, as opposed to taking extremes, to learn to be really realistic and set small and attainable goals and be prepared for setbacks, and just find a way to kind of get yourself back on track as soon as you can.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Michelle.
You're welcome. Thank you.